Hi everyone, and welcome to Going Over Wrestling with me, your host Ross. We're talking Raw from the 10th of March 2014. To help me do so, I am joined by my Kōhei brother John. So what did you think of Raw?
I thought it was quite good. A couple of good segments on it that I really liked, particularly the Daniel Bryan thing, but I know we'll come on to that.
Yeah.
Some really good stuff there, and the Paul Heyman promo in particular stood out.
Yeah, but first up though, the Hulkster.
That's right, and the Hulkster comes out and cuts a promo that's obviously been scripted for him, and I think that the experiment has failed. So last time he came out, he was talking about the launch of the WWE Universe.
Yeah.
This time he's talking about an Andre the Giant over the top rope, 3,000 man battle royal.
That did not get over.
And you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, it's not over.
No. The thing about it is it's a good idea, because I know that WWE like to do this. They like to get as many people on the card as possible, and that's pretty good. As I was saying to you off air as well, that I think it's a good chance for them to get maybe some legends to come in. I mean, 30 man, that leaves a lot of room to put in your surprises. I mean, you could have Roddy Piper or what have you.
The main thing is who can actually take a bump over the top rope.
Maybe the Genius. Oh, I'm only...
Nah, I don't think so. So yeah, Hogan, he puts over this Battle Royal. Also, he's putting over the network as well, obviously part of his script to push the network. But he starts going on about he was watching his match with Andre the Giant and he was getting so pumped up that he was ready to wrestle the neighbourhood.
Well, I suppose it's better than talking about a time when he was suicidal and then do a dramatic reconstruction of that, with him putting a gun to his head on that ridiculous special that Bischoff produced for him. So
aye, that's true.
That was worse. The thing about the Battle Royal that I've been thinking as well is that there's a fairly good chance, I don't know if they'll break the Andre Memorial Cup, I don't know if they'll do that, but the Battle Royal winner seems to be the ideal candidate to get the big boot and the leg drop. That's just what I'm thinking.
Just something to get Hogan to do the big boot and leg drop. It has to be in at some point, you'd think.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere.
Yeah. So Cena's music hits, Cena comes out, puts himself into the 30-man Battle Royal.
Although, was it not a 3-man Battle Royal by that point? That's
part of Hogan's promo. He's like, there'll be one of 3 men going to win it.
One of 3 men, that's it.
Also, when Hogan's talking about some of the legends as well, he calls Warrior jacked up.
I noticed that.
It's a pot kettle there, I think.
Yep.
So Cena's is putting his name in the hat then for the Battle Royal. Bray Wyatt's music hits.
Yep, Bray Wyatt comes out.
They make their way out to the ring. They obviously had to do a face-to-face promo. Immediately then Cena takes his name back out of the hat for the Battle Royal. He was in it for all of 10 seconds. Says that he wants Bray one-on-one at WrestleMania,
Which is good, because I suppose that if you've got the 30-man Battle Royal, that's something for Ronan Harper to do at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, true.
I think that's probably the best way to go for WrestleMania, though. A singles match between Cena and Bray will probably be the best. And he says that he's going to go through him, because that's what Cena's whole deal's been in the future, has to go through him. So
so could be quite good. Quite interested in it. So first match of the episode of Raw then is Cena against Rowan. The Wyatt family's already out there anyway, so right from the get-go, Rowan's is on the front foot there. He's on the front foot for most of the match actually. Still doing that head crusher thing, I noticed as well. That over the sort of knuckles to the temple.
Yeah, so I'm doing that.
The finish is actually kind of comes out of nowhere, where it's like Rowan's going for it looks like a power slam. Cena drops off the back, gets the schoolboy for the 1, 2, 3. I know you're pushing the Wyatts, but Cena getting a flick one and Rowan's a bit... Because even the camera closes in on Cena and he looks surprised that he got the 3 count.
Yeah, I know, it was a strange one. It came out of nowhere. I take it that we're just thinking, okay, that's plenty of time in this segment, let's move on to the next one. Yeah. So that there's enough time before the ad break so they can do the pose down. And
then the Wyatts sort of get on the apron, they tease the two of them on the apron, Hogan and Cena in the ring, they tease the standoff. But they drop down off the apron and don't get into it. Yeah,
they were saying in the commentary, they don't want any part of Hogan and Cena, but I'm pretty sure that when the camera was panning around, Bray told them no to get down, so it worked out okay.
Yeah, it worked out. Then afterwards, the Wyatts make their way backstage and Hogan and Cena pose with the fans, with Cena doing Hogan's poses. The fans weren't really into it though, from what I noticed. It was...
Well, the fans weren't into it a lot on the show, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it wasn't one of the hottest crowds they've got. It wasn't like Chicago last week. In fact, I think that there was only one CM Punk chant that broke out at one point. Yeah. And it was during the Shields match, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
So yeah, the crowd, they got into matches right enough, they got into some segments, but for the most part they were quite quiet, and they were popping a wee bit for the Hogan and Cena the pose down thing, but you know,
not as much as you would think for two legends.
That's it.
Past and present, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So next up we've got Stephanie and Triple H coming out here, cutting a promo. Only Stephanie speaks though.
Yeah.
They're saying that what Bryan did last week, kicking Triple H in the face, is a sackable offence, and that they should sack him, but they're not going to, because that's not what's good for business. So they do the whole Bryan's a B+ player shtick that they've been doing, and say that nothing more will come of it if Bryan just simply apologises, and if he doesn't, there'll be severe consequences.
Yeah, and what we get is that builds up to the segment later on in the show. But as far as the promo went, it was okay.
Yeah.
Stephanie got the usual heat. Well, she got heat from the crowd, so I think that's
she
something.
Gets heat from me, but it's more the sort of go away heat. I just can't stand her.
She did okay with that, saying that she apologised and coming across pretty disingenuous. So yeah, it worked for the segment.
It worked, yeah. Next match of the night then is the Usos against Ryback and Curtis Axel. Ryback and Axel getting the jobber entrance, i.e. no entrance.
Yeah, what was funny as well was they showed a cutaway to Ryback saying that he was going to be in the Andre Invitational Battle Royal, and that he was going to prove he's the best big man in the history of the WWE.
Yeah. And
then it went to him in the ring and he was smaller than Axel. So, that was some good promotion right there.
It was indeed. Other thing of note for this match as well was the Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn doing commentary. The Road Dogg is on commentary here, and it's sort of gone on from SmackDown. He's basically putting over the fact that the only reason they lost titles was because he was injured due to lower back problems.
And Billy had encephalitis.
Yeah. So that was quite funny, with them just saying that if they were fully fit, they wouldn't have lost the titles. So they've got a bit of a back and forth with Cole and Lawler about this.
Yeah, that's good. That's the old heel stuff where the heels outright lie, and that's what the heels are supposed to do.
I love that stuff.
Yeah,
love
rather than be the cool heel that's in the babyface's face.
Yeah.
To be like that as to just outright lie, so the fans know that they're talking BS. That's the sort of stuff I like.
In the match, the only sort of real spot is with the Usos doing the sort of tope over the top rope with the tag.
With the tag, they won the titles last week.
I feel that should be a big spot. I don't think that should be in every match. I think that should be saved for special occasions, as it were. I don't think they should do that all the time.
Yeah, I think it'll turn into just like the Daniel Bryan flip in the corner where he jumps over the top.
Yeah, I think does that every time now.
Yeah, it'll just be one of those things. Pretty much a nothing match. It was a throwaway really, and the most entertaining thing was the Outlaws on commentary.
Yeah, some funny quips on there.
Jerry Lawler's shirt.
That shirt was outrageous.
I'm not entirely sure. He did say that someone gave him it as a present. But
there's photos on Twitter. There's a comparison with him and Elvis. Elvis wore a shirt that was similar to that.
Right, so that's what it was.
It's a nod to Elvis, but okay. It's outrageous.
So it looks as if the suit and tie policy for WWE doesn't extend to Jerry Lawler anyway, since he's always out there looking like he's some homeless guy that they've just brought in to sit in the end there, and he adds about as much.
Pretty much, yeah. We're backstage with Kane, and he's given the sort of the Shield a dressing down, as it were, banging on about the cracks in the Shield forming, and that this basically stems from when Rollins and Reigns lost the tag titles to the Rhodes brothers.
Yeah, I thought that was quite good as well. Of course, it led for SmackDown, where they had the meeting. What was it? The Summit, Shield Summit, I think
Shield
they called
Summit,
it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Where Rollins punched Ambrose, or slapped Ambrose in the face, and Ambrose punched him in the face, and then they thought, okay, that's them, worked out their differences. The only thing about that segment that was strange, I thought, was that
the Shield Summit or the Kane one?
The Kane.
Yeah.
Kane one was that he being Roman Reigns whispered something to Seth Rollins when he was the one that went up into Kane's face after saying that I'll exorcise any demons. Meaning Kane being the devil's favourite demon, or whatever the tagline they've got from. So you would have thought he would have said it out front, like
as
up front, as opposed to whispering it to Rollins, for Rollins to say.
Yeah, it was a bit strange that, but overall I thought the segment was pretty good. The next match up is Swagger against Big E again.
Yeah.
It's just another platform for the Swagger Cesaro angle that they're working just now. It's a bit unfortunate for Big E.
It is a shame that Big E's finding himself being the
Intercontinental Champion, and he's used as a pawn for a storyline that doesn't involve him.
That's right, he's just used to progress the Jack Swagger against Cesaro.
Just Cesaro now, yeah.
The Cesaro split, and it's a shame as well because Jack Swagger and Big E had a pretty entertaining match at the Royal Rumble, but they were having a storyline match this time where it was to do with, was it Zeb Coulter had asked Cesaro to help, and he
Yeah,
didn't.
at the start of the match, the audio picks up Swagger saying, "I've got this, I've got this." So Cesaro takes a back step and doesn't get involved and just lets him do it. For most of the match though, Swagger dominates for pretty much most of the action in the ring. So yeah, there's absolutely no reason for Cesaro to be involved. Although there is one spot at the end of the match where Cesaro could be involved. It's the old spot where Big E's sort of hanging, draped over the ropes with his head on the outside. You can hear Coulter say to Cesaro, like, hit him, or Cesaro doesn't. As Cesaro doesn't do anything, Swagger goes over to the ropes and starts arguing with Cesaro about it. While he's arguing with Cesaro, Big E hits the schoolboy, 1, 2, 3, and then this leads to Swagger getting outside the ring, quite irate, and gets in Cesaro's face about it.
And then Zeb Coulter comes to play Peacemaker again, by forcing them to shake hands.
Yep. They finally do shake hands after sort of teasing that they won't. When they do shake hands though, Cesaro won't let go.
No, he grabs him in the power shake.
Power shake, won't let go. Putting over Cesaro's strength then as well, with Swagger saying, let me go. Quite good overall. So yeah, still teasing the breakup there.
Yeah, definitely should be gone with... I don't know if they'll have it at WrestleMania. They probably will try and fit it into WrestleMania somewhere. Swagger against Cesaro, since there's been no talk at the Rhodes brothers having their match. So I would imagine it will be Swagger and Coulter staying together as heels, and Cesaro going his own way. But Cesaro is a really good worker, but he's not really had much opportunity to cut promos, so I'm not really sure if Coulter would have been better to be kept as a mouthpiece for him. But the Cesaro swing is a face move. It gets the face pop, so he should be the face and Swagger the heel coming out of it.
I would agree with that, yeah. And as far as the Rhodes brothers wrestling each other at WrestleMania, it's not underway yet for that breakup. So
I don't think so. I mean, the
Dustin is pushing for it backstage though. Yeah,
we will get to that on the show right enough, because they did have their match, but that's the first time I've seen them in a couple of weeks. I think I don't remember them being on Raw last week.
They were on a few weeks back though, but doing the Lego segment where they've played.
That's right. Yeah.
So up next then is Undertaker making his way out to the ring here, doing the usual Undertaker entrance. JBL puts it over on commentary, saying when you're on the other side of this, being in the ring, it's one of the most daunting things you can experience as a wrestler. It is actually quite a cool entrance.
Entrance. I think it's particularly cool for kids as well that are there.
Yeah.
They seem to enjoy it, but
I appreciate it more as an older fan now than I did when I was younger. When I was younger, I was just thinking, oh God, this is taking forever. But
yeah, you get a 3-minute window that you can go and do whatever you want before he gets into the ring.
So he comes out to the ring, gets the microphone. Before he can say anything, Paul Heyman comes out. Yeah. Heyman's promo is basically putting over how impressive the streak is.
They actually did better at putting the streak over than WWE has in a while, for as much as for like how important it is, or how much an achievement it is for the Undertaker to be undefeated in 21 and 0.
21 and 0, yeah. So yeah, he puts over the streak here and just how impressive it is, comparing it to other wrestlers and what they have managed to mount consecutively. So really hammered home how much impressive 21 is, 21 years in total. Yeah, more so than WWE's actually put over the streak itself. It's just sort of a number to them just now.
Yeah, it's just, you think that the Undertaker's undefeated, fans will know that, but putting it into context like that for the fans was pretty good. I thought that was one of the better segments on the show. Was
pretty good, yeah. So after putting over the streak, he urges Undertaker to back down and not face Lesnar, because Lesnar will put an end to the streak. Quite believable in the way that Heyman delivers this.
Yeah, the only thing in commentary, Jerry Lawler said it's going to be the first time that they've ever wrestled each other, which Michael Cole managed to interject at WrestleMania, because with the WWE app now, with the back catalogue there, they need to be very careful.
They also didn't work the angle, which I thought they probably could have, but it would make reference to Punk though, which they're back not doing after doing it last week. Is the fact that this is 2 years in a row now. Heyman's sent one of his guys against Undertaker. It's been one of his guys against the Undertaker, I should say.
Heyman was saying right enough in his promo that he was there and saw him last, how close it came to ending last year, and he's begging the Undertaker not to take the match because Lesnar will be able to beat him. But I thought he did a good job of getting the match over and the chance that Brock can win.
So Undertaker finally speaks, says very little other than if Lesnar shows up in New Orleans, he will rest in peace. So next up then we have the Rhodes brothers against the Shield. Seth Rollins does the spot in the corner where he's on his back and he's holding onto the middle ropes as though he doesn't want to be pulled out of the corner. Cody's got him by the legs, sort of pulling him out, and eventually pulls him out and throws the legs back, and it turns into a backflip. with Rollins landing on his feet, which I thought was a really cool spot of the night, I think, in my eyes. But
no, there's another one, but we'll come to that later on. I thought it was a spot of the night.
For me, I thought that was really good, but the fans don't pop for it. They don't really make any sort of noise for it, not as much as you would expect anyway.
No, but it was the Shield and Bros Brothers that got the CM Punk chant, so they did get into it near the end right enough, but through the middle of the match they weren't particularly with it.
There was another actual cool spot in the match as well, where Rollins and Reigns are on the outside, and as they're on the outside, Cody does one of the sort of double jump splashes from the middle rope to the top rope splash, but at the same time Goldust does a running senton off the apron. That was really cool as well.
That was quite good. So was Roman Reigns. That drop kick he does, or the Samoan kick or whatever it is they're calling it nowadays.
Yep. So the end of the match then comes with the springboard disaster kick, lands on Rollins' shoulders, going for a Hurricane Rana, where the Hurricane Rana gets countered into a powerbomb into the turnbuckles, which is then turned into the curb stomp for the win. Pretty good finish to the match. Yeah,
curb stomp. When you get to see the curb stomp, it's always good. It's not as good as the top rope one he did at one of the pay-per-views last year, but it's still good.
So that's that match then. So the Shield pick up the win and they celebrating the ring together, proving that they're still united.
Yeah.
Still think though that when the Shield inevitably do break up, though, they are going to be pushing Reigns as the main attraction. He'll be the superstar coming out of the group, whether it be face or heel. He will be the main one, the main focus. But for me, I still love Tyler Black, Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
he's great.
I think that
Ambrose is my favourite heel in the company at the moment. He's awesome.
Yeah, I think the way that they've been going with things, with Rollins last week being the one that went up the ramp and led to them losing, looks as if they're looking at Rollins and Ambrose being heels coming out of the split, with Roman Reigns being the face, and I think that's probably the way to go just now. Whether they're going to have the triple threat between them at WrestleMania, maybe not, but that was something that had been talked about.
Yeah,
but
it was.
We'll see what they've got for them.
They could possibly do the triple threat without doing a breakup. It could be like a sort of clear the air triple threat, that sort of thing, then leading to a breakup. You could still do it that way, I suppose.
You could. I'm not really sure what the best. They don't seem to be getting programmed with anyone in particular other than teasing something with Kane, to be honest. But then again, Kane and Big Show have been teased as being something as well. So what they've got in store for them, I'm not sure. Hopefully it's a match and not the 30-man battle royal.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
Yeah.
Speaking of being horrible, up next is the Bellas against AJ and Tamina tag match with Natalya on commentary. Unlike the other guest commentators earlier on in the night, Natalya is pretty poor on commentary.
Not as poor as Alberto Del Rio was in SmackDown last week, but she wasn't the best yet.
The only thing of note she even says on commentary is she quotes Jim Neidhart's promo from many years ago, saying that we're hungry and we're forgetting our manners. So the match itself is a pretty nothing affair, with Nikki Bella getting the pin on AJ. So Bryan comes out to the ring. He says that he should have kicked Triple H in the face a long time ago, and that he's certainly not apologising. So kicking Triple H in the face, does hitting the running knee at Hell in a Cell not count as hitting Triple H in the face, or do we just forget that happened?
Just forget that happened since he just did it last week, and it's fresh in fans' memories. More importantly, fresh in the writers' memories, who don't seem to remember these sort of things, like Big Show. I mean, Big Show should be homeless by now, should he not? I mean, they own the authority on his house, but that get dropped because Big Show can't draw.
Yep, pretty much. That's how it goes. But like I said, Bryan says he's not apologising and he's not leaving the ring until he gets his match with Triple H. He says as well that he's been talking to members of the Yes Movement. I was wondering where this was actually going. What it turns out is tons of Daniel Bryan fans, which I guess are the Yes Movement, come out to the ring wearing the new Daniel Bryan t-shirt as well.
Yeah.
They all come out, surround the ring, and are in the ring as well. Bryan's sort of standing on the turnbuckles. Hunter finally comes out with Stephanie. You're not getting your match, now leave. Pretty cool where Bryan makes the reference to what about if we all just leave, including all the fans, and that's quite cool, saying we can continue your Raw but you'll be having Raw in an empty arena, which I thought was quite cool.
It would have been cooler, I suppose, if the Memphis crowd had actually responded to it and not just the people in the Yes Movement, but
yeah, it would have been.
It did work really well, in particular because it's not something that they've done before.
Yeah,
pretty new, so
yeah, it's quite unique. According to Cole, it's the first time it's happened in the 30 years of Raw.
30 years of Raw, that's a long time.
Yep, so obviously a mistake on Cole's part there. So Triple H says that Raw's going to continue, bring out the next competitor. Well, Damien Sandow. Not been on TV for a while. He's used here as a sort of pawn in this segment.
Damien Sandow comes out with his own shovel, realising that he's getting buried right here. And there's probably a casket waiting backstage since Undertaker was out earlier on, but that's Damien Sandow. Apart from Damien Sandow, just before Damien Sandow, I've got to say though, when they said security get out here and 2 guys came out, I mean what was that supposed to be? 2 guys? Yeah, so the 2 guys came out and went, no, we don't want any of this. The security, I've got to say, they actually got the best security they possibly could. 2 guys. That's what you call cutting the budget.
Yeah, so Stephanie Triple H order security came out, like you say, it's 2 guys. I did initially think when the 2 guys walked down, the 2 security walked down to ringside to try and escort all the US movement away. Bearing in mind it's about 50 people maybe surrounding the ring at this point.
I think they said 200 in commentary, so yeah about 50 would be
about 50
right.
people, yeah. But no, they just sort of walk down to the picket line, turn and walk away again.
Walk away, back again, and Damien Sandow did pretty much the same, although of course the Triple H and Stephanie came out to berate him. Stephanie in particular.
God, I hate her.
Especially that loud pitched screaming voice she does, it really grates. I mean, I put a block of cheese up to the TV and it actually grated it for me, so I had my sandwich with grated cheese. It was nails down a chalkboard, annoying.
Screaming at Sandow. I mean, they've got nothing better for Sandow to do than be berated for that.
They handed him another shovel, so he's walking backstage with 2 shovels over his shoulders now at this point because he's been completely dead and buried.
Yeah. So Brian says, obviously, we're not leaving. Give me what I want. Triple H and Stephanie's losing patience at this point. Triple H eventually agrees. If you want your match, fine, you'll get your match. Now get out my ring and we'll continue Raw. But Brian's not finished here.
When they were doing it, I was thinking, is he actually going to ask for the stipulation here?
I was sitting on the edge of my seat here. I was ready to mark out at this moment, going, please do it. And yep, we get our wish. Brian says, no, that's not all what I want. What I want here is if I beat you at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's going to be Randy Orton versus Batista versus Daniel Bryan. So that's what we were talking about it last week as well, and I was saying I hope that they announce it as a possibility beforehand, and they did, so I'm really happy with that. Of course, now that everybody's thinking, oh well, if Daniel Bryan beats Triple H and at WrestleMania you're expecting now Daniel Bryan's going to beat Triple H and win in the main event. Let's hope WWE don't think, no, we have to swerve the fans here.
I really hope not. I'm just glad Russo is not in the booking committee, because that would be a swerve right there.
I know, if Russo had been on the booking committee, Damien Sandow would have come out and it would have been a match between him and Triple H at WrestleMania. That would have been setting up.
So Triple H gives in, starts storming down to the ring. You obviously get at Bryan, but the security finally do their job and escort him backstage.
I told you they bought the best of the best, just these 2 guys who were saving the budget.
Now my only worry is how it pans out on the night.
That's the thing. In general, for Raw itself, the show, that was the best segment on it, the Daniel Bryan thing. It was cool that we eventually got Triple H coming out and saying, I like you, Daniel Bryan, I've been trying to protect you, and that's why I didn't want to wrestle you, but now I'm going to finish you off. But the fact that they've got that match now sealed, we knew that was going to be the match anyway, and now we know that if he wins, he goes into the match, the main event, so that will keep everybody happy, because I know a lot of times when they were saying, I want a match with you, Daniel Bryan saying, I want a match with you, Triple H, the fans weren't going yes as much as that, because they actually wanted them in the world title picture, and now we get our wish, so I'm really happy about that. But as I say, I'm hoping that they do the right thing and they don't decide to do the swerve just because people will expect it.
I've said it for months now, the only way I can see WrestleMania 30 go off air is Daniel Bryan leading a 70,000 yes chant. That's the only way I can see it. It's the only right way to end it.
It is. That should be the lasting picture for everybody, with the fans all chanting yes with Daniel Bryan at the end of WrestleMania.
Finally getting the belt. So we're back after the break with Jerry Lawler in the ring with his outstanding shirt on, and he's announcing the fans' vote for the Sheamus versus Christian match. So the fans were voting for what stipulation it would be. So the winning vote is a Memphis street fight. I
was trying to vote for option D, which was have this match on main event, but unfortunately that wasn't one of the options.
Yeah, unfortunately. But what a Memphis street fight match appears to be is a few instruments scattered around the ring. Did they not do this with Sandow against Ziggler a few months back?
They did. It was also whatever generic city they're in, street fight. Yeah, they made a couple of Gentry's references, talking about Jimmy Hart being backstage, used to be in the band. But the instruments did play a part. So for me, this was the spot of the night. To be fair, when I heard that it was, or when they announced Christian versus Sheamus again, I was thinking, oh please no, but as it happened, the street fight turned out to be a better match than I was expecting. It was better than their match the week before, which was reasonably solid, but it was another one of those matches that you would have on Raw.
Yep.
But this one was actually really good, and the finish as well. Christian comes in with the bass drum held up to his face, and then out comes Sheamus from the corner with the brogue kick right through the drum, right into Christian's face, taking him out. So for me, that was the spot of the night. I thought it was really well executed, and to be fair, the first time I saw it, I actually thought that Christian hadn't turned his head and had been kicked right in the nose. But
yeah, I did think that myself. I had to wait for the replay. But he did get his head side on.
He did manage to get his head side on. I'm pretty sure it still would have smarted a bit, let's say, but he didn't take it right on the nose, because it's a difficult one, of course, because he can't see the kick coming. He just has to brace himself. But I thought that was really well done. Hopefully that's the end of Christian against Sheamus, but we'll see.
Okay, so we've got a backstage segment here with Brad Maddox. He's backstage in the office with Orton and Batista. He says that the Authority are so upset and annoyed with the Daniel Bryan situation that they've had to leave. So he says that they need Orton and Batista to work together to take out Bryan. Orton says he'll put their differences aside if Batista will do the same, but Batista just sort of turns away.
Yeah, I think that was Batista doing pretty much what he'll be doing in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which is not getting very many lines, I would imagine, as he's playing Drax the Destroyer and just walks away. I would like to say though that the name they came up with on SmackDown for Daniel Bryan and Big Show I thought was reasonably good. It's Respect the Beard, Fear the Giant, so that's what they're called, just in case you're wondering.
That's quite good. At least they've got a name just now.
Yeah.
Although I don't really want them to be a tag team though.
Nah, it seems to be just something for Big Show to do. I mean, I had said earlier on Kane might be in the programme with the Shield. That seems to be what they're teasing, but it does look as if it's Kane Big Show, although they are having their match in main event. Okay,
so we get another Rusev segment. The fans don't really seem to be into it at all, but like we said, they've not been into a lot of things tonight. They chant "What" at Lana as she's doing her promo as well. I hate that chant. I just wish that chant goes away as well.
I don't like the "What" chant either. It detracts and it hurts people as well. That's not to say that I was a big fan of the segment, but at least they're trying. I mean, they could be doing pre-tapes with them like they did with the Matadors and with the Wyatts, but they haven't. They've been letting them come out and do their Rocky IV stick.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a Wyatt's promo here as well, and he accepts Cena's challenge. He says that he's got nothing to lose, but Cena has everything to lose.
Yep, and then gets a Rolling Stones reference in by singing "Time Is On My Side," and it reminds me of Fallen. Maybe one of the writers had just watched Fallen recently with Denzel Washington in it, so that was added in. Okay,
so that brings us on to our main event for the night then. Daniel Bryan and Big Show against Dave Bautista and Randy Orton. Note here on commentary that they're now acknowledging the Bautista.
Yeah, they're acknowledging Bautista and also saying that it's the Yes movement that's came up with the name Bautista as well. So trying to give that to Daniel Bryan. I think maybe just to try and promote Batista against Daniel Bryan as well, if it comes to pass at WrestleMania, which hopefully it will.
Yeah. What do you make of them acknowledging Bautista though?
I think it's a good idea because it's letting the fans know, okay, Bautista is cool, you know, it's the subliminal message stuff, you know, so chant Bautista, Batista is okay, so it's a good way to try and get it over by mentioning it, because they mentioned it a few times.
Yeah, they did. Any match with Daniel Bryan and Orton in it together, we've seen it all before. There's not much else that these guys can do.
No, they still do have good chemistry together, right enough. Yeah, and Batista thankfully wasn't selling getting dropped in his skull on SmackDown as well, because it looked quite nasty, although he wasn't selling any injuries. They finished that match in SmackDown as well, but thankfully they kept it a bit safer. They didn't do the double suplex spot in this one. Yeah. So
Bryan goes for the flying headbutt. He misses this and Randy Orton gets the schoolboy on him, but no, Bryan kicks out and counters it into a yes lock. Batista comes in and breaks it up. As he breaks it up, Big Show comes in and clocks Batista. Randy Orton hits the RKO on the Big Show. Yeah. Batista goes for the spear on Bryan, but Bryan sidesteps it.
Spears Randy Orton, which I thought was good because it still adds to the two of them feuding rather than two opponents being stuck together as tag team partners.
After he gets the spear on him, Batista gets clocked with the running knee. Orton then gets the upper hand again, but he misses the RKO. Bryan hits the knee for the 1, 2, 3. Bryan's up celebrating in the ring and he's doing his yes chants, but the fans, like say, are not really popping for it as much as you would hope, considering the fact that the Triple H match has been announced with the stipulation that he gets the title match if he's successful.
Yeah, it's quite possible though that the crowd had been slowly burning out as the show progressed, you know, so that's probably what happened.
I'm just hoping it's not a case of the fans have wanted this for so long, now they've got it, Bryan being in the main event and now they don't want it anymore. I hope it's not that.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it was a crowd that was good at times and wasn't really as into the main segments as some of the shows we've had. We'll wait and see in a couple of weeks' time, because they've still got plenty of time, and now with the stipulation being added, and I think that the fans will react because they've got what they wanted, what I wanted, you know. So
I got what I wanted to. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've got to see what I want in wrestling.
Yeah.
So all in all, what did you make of this week's Raw?
I enjoyed it, actually. It was a thumbs up show for me, and the reason is because of the Daniel Bryan segment that made it. I also really enjoyed the Paul Heyman segment. The Shields match was good as well. I enjoyed, of course, the Brogue kick through the bass drum.
Yep.
So all in all, I thought it was good. As I say, especially the Daniel Bryan segment when he asked for the three-way as part of the stipulation, which is what I was hoping that they would do, give us plenty of notice on it.
Yep.
So that was good.
For me, yeah, loved the Daniel Bryan segment, finally getting what he wants and what I want, which is Triple H at WrestleMania with the stipulation. If he wins, he's interjected into the main event for the title. All in all, I would say, yeah, good show. So that's going to do it for this episode then. We'll see you later.
Bye.